Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 131. I am Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vicki Musney.
And today we're speaking about a chapter from our book, Creating Connections, 31 Days to Providing... Why am I drawing a blank? Oh my God.
31 Days to Building Stronger
and Deeper Relationship. Yes.
You want to cut that again?
Yeah. And today we're talking about a chapter from our book, Creating Connections, 31 Days to Building Stronger and Deeper Relationships. And this is chapter 8, right?
Yes, chapter 8, Research.
Research.
A topic that we talk about fairly frequently, but I'm excited to do an episode on this. It's important.
So while you go research us, we'll go dive back into the book. More after the break.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Welcome back to Creating Connections podcast, chapter 8. Oh no, episode 131, chapter 8. There we go. I get it right.
Yeah. Yep.
Research. Now, research is week 2, day 8, if you will. So it kind of kicks off week 2.
Yeah, if you haven't read the book before or haven't read it lately, just remember the whole book is divided into one task or one thing to focus on for each day. And then the weeks are also themed. So week 1, which the last 7 months we've been talking about one chapter of those each month, were more to do with when you meet new people in a more general sense. And then chapter 8 begins week 2, where we talk about specifically things that have to do with creating connections with clients.
Research is something that I also touched upon in the very first edition of my book, Sales for Event Pros, and that first step. And that's what we're talking about here, creating connections with clients. And to me, it was always a case of, your clients are Googling you, so why aren't you Googling them?
And I say this in the book, and I say it when I present. I just shared it not that long ago when I was in Sydney. When I heard Mitch say that for the first time, it was so freeing to me because I had been researching my clients and looking them up on social media before I would return, calls or messages, or certainly before I would go into a meeting with someone. And I always felt really awkward about it. And it was really freeing just to hear him say that, because it was like, okay, I'm not hiring a private investigator or doing anything overly creepy. I'm just looking to see what information do they put out into the world for public view, and what can I learn from that. And so then that just made it feel a little less awkward, I think.
So we're trying to create those connections with clients. You need to understand where they're coming from. And I think research is a good way to do that. You need to research, for example, where are they from? Where did they grow up? Who were their friends? Do you have any mutual friends? Where is their event? Where is their venue? Where did they go to college or school, or all those kind of things that come up.
And then social media.
Yeah.
What do they share? Do they share? What does that tell you about how public or private they are with personal information? Could that be clues into personality? But if you can see their social media, what do you see in those pictures and those images? And I love that we both talked about it in our first books. And honestly, though, I really like the way you did it in your second edition, where you changed it to search, because it sounds less like a kid doing research on a term paper,
right,
and digging up for something, but it's more about just searching for clues on how you can connect better.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And yes, it works really nicely with your new acronym of sales and having search be the first. If you want a homework assignment on research besides reviewing day 8, go back and read section 1 of Mitch's Sales for Event Pros book on the search process, and also the first section of my original book,
Yeah,
Personalities for
personalities
Business, and how you can think about personalities in all of the things that you're finding.
This will help you with the research of your clients. It'll help you research the connection that you can make. And it's all about setting yourself up for success, not to stalk them,
Yes,
but to serve them.
exactly.
And I can't stress that enough. It's about serving. It's not about stalking.
Yeah, I think it's important that we hit on the how and the why. The why is so you can understand them better and have a good starting ground, and how to serve them. And for me, I focus on it a lot before I meet with a client in person, because I want to know as much as I can so that I can A, make them comfortable, and B, put myself in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If I have done my research and all of my clues indicate that they are blue-green, low-key, fairly private, detail-oriented people, that is the complete opposite of me. I'm a red-yellow. It is not my nature to behave that way. So I have to do some things to prepare mentally for that so I can meet them in the way that is comfortable for them.
Well,
it means not having caffeine right before I go to a meeting. I don't need anything to amp me up even further. It means reminding myself that I need to just speak a little more slowly and maybe a little bit quieter, and make sure that I'm really dialed in on asking the questions and pausing. If they take longer to process an answer, I need to remind myself to shut up. Those are not things I do naturally.
right.
So I like having that mental exercise and that time before I go into a meeting where I can prepare myself better, because I know it's going to create a more comfortable environment for them and allow me to serve them better.
Well, and for example, even with a sales appointment I did just recently, we put a motion monogram on the walls for them.
Yes.
Except I had it just paused at a specific part where it just was their names, plain, nice script text, if you will, and date,
Yeah,
as a regular monogram.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say, that we're not too flashy of people and things like that, then I'm probably not going to show them the rest of the monogram.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it plain.
Yep. You're looking for the clues.
Point. Yeah. There's no point. So, but now if all of a sudden she's like, oh my gosh, we want to have our wedding be better than my sister's, and you're getting all that vibe.
And I want all the specialty things, and I want to feel like a princess, and I want to surprise everyone.
Yeah. So then you can go click play
Pick it up a
boom,
notch.
and now it's all good to go. So you're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. The research, the search allows you to prepare to put your best foot forward. Vicky's scenario with those opposites, she's going to wear probably more muted colors. For me, when I'm researching and I talk to couples and they want a more, Christ-centered event, then I'm going to mind my P's and Q's. And I may not be as gregarious as I am otherwise. It's more prim and proper of an approach. Yep. So not that, people with more Christ-centered can't have fun. Of course they can. Absolutely. Some of the people I know that are extremely religious are off the wall, upbeat, having fun, but it's just important.
But you might pick the examples of the stories that you share differently.
Correct.
If you found out that she's a pastor's daughter or a missionary kid and,
yes,
very conservative background, then you probably wouldn't, share the story about the wedding that we were at where the bride was doing keg stands by the end of the evening.
Right.
Maybe that's not the story that you pick.
Yeah.
So it's, helping you prepare to connect better.
Yeah. It's just about putting the time in to make sure you're putting your best foot forward, and so that you can serve them better. To know who they are, to be able to present the right options that are going to speak to them, that you can ensure that will help them celebrate their day how they want it celebrated.
Yeah.
So that's research.
Yeah, don't be afraid of research, but do make sure that you keep yourself in check. Make sure that you're reminding yourself that your reason for doing it is to serve them and not to be creepy. Don't bring up things that you saw. Maybe you did look at Facebook and you saw that you guys both love the same baseball team. Don't say, hey, I noticed that you're a Giants fan. That's creepy.
Right.
But if you're in the conversation and you want to bring up something about, hobbies or, sports or, and you ask it in a general way, then you can work it in and it's less stalkerish.
Yeah, and maybe it's just a case of simply as, you're sitting there and you're suppressing yawn and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I stayed up late watching the Giants last night. Oh, you watched Giants too. And then,
Yep.
Done. It's very simply a way to allow yourself to prepare to communicate with them and connect with them on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's research. Thank you so much for watching Creating Connections podcast. Chapter 8 of our book was covered today, research, and that's week 2, day 1, if you will. So if you're following along, we're going to hit week 2, day 2 next month. So we greatly appreciate your viewership. Creating Connections podcast, providing personal solutions through understanding people. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musni. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.